Hi, it's Nicky and welcome back to a brand new episode. I am a personal brand coach. I help you to plan, package, price, position, present and work out all the personal stuff in your head so you have this personal brand that will always allow you to get paid. Now, we are about to go into September 2025. So today's episode is about just that, because if you've been waiting for a neat timeline, there is one just around the corner. Monday, the 1st of September 2025. Monday, tick. The 1st of the month, tick. September, back to school energy, tick. The start of a new season, autumn, tick. I know so many of you have that beautiful list of 2025 goals from January the 1st, probably lurking in a drawer, waiting for the perfect time to materialize. Over the last 25 years, I have gathered a lot of data about success, action, productivity, progress, not only in my own life, but from the hundreds of people that I've worked with. And here are 5 things I always come back to. Number 1, there is no such thing as the perfect time. But sometimes there is a better time. I want you to honor the season that you're in. 6 years ago, I had a 3-year-old and a 3-week-old. And I was awake for most of the hours in a 24-hour period. But yet my imagination went into overdrive. The ideas were great and exciting. However, my 2019 season needed to find a temporary home for them, to house them away for a while. Because I know, and I've learned this the hard way, that pushing through and doing all the things, especially during a very vulnerable and unpredictable time, is never going to serve me. Number 2, why do we put pressure on ourselves to go from 0 to 100 immediately, or it doesn't count? Why are we so mean to ourselves? We have to recognize that everything is a spectrum. I want you to imagine the steps on the ground from 1 to 100. If you're standing on step number 1, you may not even be able to see step 100. In fact, the furthest step you might be able to see is step 19. So aim for that. Then the next steps will reveal themselves. You get to the final destination, but only by taking the first step. And sometimes that action doesn't fit into a neat timeline, process, or an overnight success with a sexy title. It is, as the gurus say, a journey. Number 3, for most of us, our self-development doesn't have to be world-class or public, or the beginning chapters of our international best-selling book, although the universe loves to play. When I started running every day on the 19th of November 2023, I started running every day and I locked in 250 consecutive days. I didn't share any of my online adventures until day 39. I was only running for 15 minutes per day after all, in very average athletic wear, often non-matching, not quite the remnants of the lost property box, but not far off. And I was just going around my local streets. My pace was often quite plodding. I wasn't scouted as the next potential Olympian. I wasn't extraordinary, but it did change my life. It exponentially changed and improved every area of my life. Often goals are set only if they are impressive, and they don't need to be. In fact, they can be really small. We can do the opposite. We can keep it simple, accomplish the basics gradually and consistently, and then build. Number 4, a start date is incredibly powerful and affirming. And maybe your start date is the 1st of September 2025 because it's so bloody neat. When you do that and you choose, you begin. You say, today is the day. And you sit with the idea of commitment. Am I in or am I out? And if your intentions are negotiable, guess what? Your results will be too. Sometimes we need to create a line in the sand. The before and the after, the new you. Number 5, you can collect the data back to your start date. So often we rarely get a sense of what's truly going on because we're all so busy and on to the next thing. After 250 days of running every day, I got to know myself so well, scarily well. What worked, what didn't, how I needed to support myself and the goal, how I thrive, how I build resilience, old stuff that I'm carrying around that it's time to let go of, how I needed to match the pace of my laundry system to the pace of my running system, how I deal with, communicate, and utilize the 17,628 voices that coexist noisily inside my head. I got to know myself so well because I showed up and I decided and I did the work. And I would love to hear from you. Where are you going next? What's on your heart? What's on your list? And you know it's been lurking there way too long. If you want to make some mega moves in your personal brand over the next 100 days and get to December and be able to look back and say to yourself, whoa, I did that. I locked in. I did the work. I found out what I was made of and I knocked my own socks off. If that's you and you want to book a discovery call and you like the idea of that neat timeline, do send me a message. And let's see what is possible for you when you lock in and invite your future self to join the party now. I will leave all the details down below and I'd love to hear from you. Lots of love. Bye.